songs, I'm just a happy roving cowboy. I'm herding the dark clouds out of the sky, keeping my heart in the sun. Welcome once again, friends and neighbors, to the Horseshoe Tavern, Queen Street, Toronto City in Canada. And come on along while I sing my songs, I'm just a happy roving cowboy. Let me ride that long trail down to the end, where the skies are always blue.
Saturday night. The glasses they will tinkle when our eyes begin to twinkle, and we think no more of Inco on a Saturday night. With Irish Jim O'Connell there and Scotty Jack McDonald, there's Honky Frederick Herschel getting tight, but that's alright. There's Happy German Fritzy there with Frenchy getting tipsy, and even Joe the Gypsy knows it's Saturday tonight. Now when Mary Ann and Mabel come to join us at the table and tell us how the bingo went tonight, we'll look up right. But if they won the money, we'll be lapping up the honey boys, cause everything is funny for it's Saturday tonight. And the girls are out the bingo and the boys are getting stinko. We think no more of bingo on a Saturday night. The glasses they will tinkle when our eyes begin to twinkle, and we think no more of bingo on a Saturday night. Ah, figure up the name boy. Everything is wonderful tonight. We had a good fight. We ate the dilly pickle and we forgot about the nickel. And everybody is tickled for it's Saturday tonight. The songs that we'll be singing, they might be wrong, but they'll be ringing. When all the lights of town are shining bright and we're all tight. We'll get to work on Monday, but tomorrow's only Sunday, and we're out to have a fun day for it's Saturday tonight. Yeah, the girls are out the bingo and the boys are getting stinko. We think no more of bingo on a Saturday night. The glasses they will tinkle when our eyes begin to twinkle, and we think no more of bingo on a Saturday night. We think no more of bingo on a Saturday night.
Thank you so very kindly. Like the Newfoundlander once said, here's to it and at it and to it. And if you don't get at it when you get to it, you'll never get to it to get at it again. I bet these fellows from Jamaica can't say that. This next song I'd like to dedicate to any of the folks in the house who may be of French-Canadian descent. This is a story about the northern Quebec lumberjack. Quand on voit un amant sur un pistolet et un linceau, on s'imagine l'aventure du cowboy au grand chapeau. Quand on voit les sapinette, un hache et un boxon, reconnaissent ce casquette de la bûcheron du Canada. Oh oui, il est un goût capable, ce Canadien, ce bûcheron. Oh oui, il est un fatigable, bon travailleur, aiguiléron, bon travailleur, aiguiléron. If I sang about a saddle with a lasso and a gun, you'd think about a cowboy
a pine tree with a bucksaw and an axe. I sing about a big man, the Canadian lumberjack. Oh hey, the happy working bushman of Canada. He's a lumberjack. Oh hey, the master of the bushland. He's born to live by the big bold axe. He is born to live by the big bold axe. Le grand matin, il se lève et prend un bon déjeuner. La bonne crêpe, du bien des fèves, grand spécial du cuisinier. Il n'a pas peur de l'ouvrage, dès 7 heures il est au bois. Il faut avoir du courage, le bûcheron du Canada. Oh oui, il est un goût capable, ce Canadien, ce bûcheron. Oh oui, il est infatigable, bon travailleur. Aiguilera, bon travailleur. Aiguilera. With a whopper giant breakfast of pancakes, beans and mush. And then you'll hear him whistle all morning through the bush. And when it comes to hard work, there's just no turning back. That son of a gun of an iron Canadian lumberjack. Oh hey, the happy working bushman of Canada. He's a lumberjack. Oh hey, the master of the bushland. He's born to live by the big bold axe. He's born to live by the big bold axe. Et pour passer la soirée, il cause avec ses copains. Il chante qu'il se bien nommé, les pouces sur le printemps prochain. And when his day is over, he'll talk with many chums. He'll sing about the sweetheart he'll wed when springtime comes. Oh oui, il est un goût capable, ce Canadien, ce bûcheron. Oh oui, il est infatigable, bon travailleur. Il est rond, bon travailleur. Il est rond.
No, I'm not going to sweep out the Horseshoe Tavern with this little broom. But I have a young man right here now. He's much taller than I am. He's 14 years old. He's going to sweep the dust off of his fiddle. His name is Bobby Lalonde at the Horseshoe Tavern. Go to it, Bob. Thank you so kindly. This here next song is about a guy that knows more about potatoes than anyone else in the world. It's Spud the Spud from the bright red mud, rolling down the highway smiling. The Spuds are big on the back of Bud's rig. They're from Prince Edward Island. They're from Prince Edward Island. From Charlottetown or from Summerside, they load him down for the big long ride. He jumps in the cab and he's off with the price of bagels. He's got to catch the boat to make Tormentine, and he hits up that old New Brunswick line. From Montreal he comes just a flying with another big load of potatoes. It's Spud the Spud from the bright red mud, rolling on a highway smiling. The Spuds are big on the back of Bud's rig. They're from Prince Edward Island. They're from Prince Edward Island. The Ontario Provincial Police don't think much of Bud. Yeah, the cops have been looking for the son of a gun that's been ripping a tire off the 401. They know the name of the truck shines up in the sun. Green Gables. But he hits Toronto and it's 7 o'clock when he backs her up again the terminal dock, and the boys gather round just to hear him talk about another big load of potatoes. It's Spud the Spud from the bright red mud, going down a highway smiling. The Spuds are big on the back of Bud's rig. They're from Prince Edward Island. They're from Prince Edward Island. Play it, Billy boy. People from east to west that like the Spuds from the island best, cause they'll stand up to the hardest test. Right on the table. So when you see that big trucker rolling by, wave your hand or kind of wink your eye, cause that's Spud the Spud from old PEI. Well, big load of potatoes. It's Spud the Spud from the bright red mud, rolling down a highway smiling. Because he's got another big load of the best doggone potatoes that's ever been growed. And they're from Prince Edward Island. They're from Prince Edward Island. This New Brunswicker told me this here Newfie joke. If it doesn't go over, blame it on the New Brunswickers. This here Newfoundlander was a transport truck driver. He came all the way to Ontario with a load of rabbits. So when he got up here on the 401, the back door opened up and all the rabbits got skimpering and scampering around and jumping all through the fields and everything. They fell out of the truck. The OPP comes along and he says, "Hey, buddy." He said, "What you doing sitting there with a big smile on your face?" He says, "When all these here rabbits are bouncing and everything all over the fields." So the Newfie truck driver looked at him and he said, "Well, boy," he said, "I'll tell you. They're jumping here and they're jumping there and they don't know where they're going. And I got the address right here." And then, of course, when I first come up from PEI to seek my fortune in Ontario, where all the gold bricks were supposed to be laying on the street and I could pick up a few, send them back home, make everybody happy, as long as I didn't return with the bricks. I wound up in a little town called Leamington in southwestern Ontario looking for a job. I never had no money, nothing in me pockets, except lint, patches in me pants, never had no friends, never had a pot or a window either, if you know what I mean. And there I was, I'm walking down the streets in Leamington, and what to my great fortune, I meets the town drunk. He staggers up to me, and I stagger up to him. He says, "Hey, you with the big black cowboy hat on." I said, "Where are you from?" I said, "PEI. Well, he said, "Pee in your own eye if you don't want to tell me." Second time I went back, I run into this other fellow who was hopscotch and diddly-kabobbling around Leamington too when I was looking for a job. This guy had one of them blue uniforms on with the funny peak on the cap and everything. All kinds of funny brass buttons and everything, with a club in one hand and a gun in the other. He was one of them real tough ones, you know, with 2 black belts. one running this way and one running around that way. This cat comes diddly bobbling up to me and he says, I'm the chief around here. I said, what tribe? He said, look at funny man. He said, you're that funny guy that's been writing them funny songs about all these funny towns around here. He said, listen, funny man. He said, you're going to write a nice, lovable song about our lovable town in Leamington, ain't ya, funny man? I said, yes, sir, I sure am. Well, I done the best I could. I come back with a song. I kept my promise and they kept theirs. They booted me out of town anyways. It's called a ketchup song. Goes good everywhere except in Leamington. There was a guy from PEI they used to call Potato. He met this young Leamington, Ontario tomato. But he had eyes for other girls and she was a little mushy. So they said, well, let's get wed. There's no sense being fussy. Big size French fries, how they love tomatoes. So dress them up with Heinz ketchup. Ketchup loves potatoes. Ketchup loves potatoes. Well, he went down to Windsor town to buy a ring on Monday. Saturday they said, okay, we'll cut the cake on Sunday. But Sunday came and what a shame, they had no one to fetch it. But out of cake they just sat and ate potato chips and ketchup. Big size French fries, how they love tomatoes. So dress them up with Heinz ketchup. Ketchup loves potatoes. Ketchup loves potatoes. So this guy from PEI they used to call Potato. He's got 2 boys and a little girl, 2 spuds and 1 tomato. They romp and run around Leamington and boy, when they get hungry, the bottle drips all over the chips way down in the ketchup country. Big size French fries, how they love tomatoes. So dress them up with Heinz ketchup. Ketchup loves potatoes. Ketchup loves potatoes. Well, you see, I was talking to this Newfoundlander the other day, just come up to Toronto. He asked me, he says, "What all them people that run them boarding houses around here serve as bread and gravy?" So I thought I'd sing this little song and tell you all about this fella and his escapades. On Monday, we got bread and gravy. On Tuesday, 'twas gravy on bread. On Wednesday and Thursday, it was gravy on toast. But that's the same as gravy on bread. So on Friday, I goes up to the landlord. "Hey you, give me something instead." So on Saturday morning, my way of a change was gravy without any bread. Wait a minute, I'm going back to Newfoundland. I'm going to talk about the squid jigging ground. Oh, this is the place where the fishermen gathers in oilskins and boots and capons batten down. All sizes of figures with squid lines and jiggers, they congregates here on the squid jigging ground. Some are working their jiggers, while others are yarning. There's some standing up and there's more lying down. While all kinds of fun tricks and jokes are begun as they lays for the squids on the squid jigging ground. There's men of all ages and boys in the bargain. There's old Billy Cave and there's young Raymond Brown. There's a
red rantin' Tory out here in a dory. He's running down squires on the squid jigging ground. There's men from the harbor and men from the Tickle, and all kinds of motorboats, green, grey, and brown. Right yonder is Bobby, and with him is Nobby. He's chawing hardtack on the squid jigging ground. God bless me, sou'wester, there's Skipper John Sheffy, the best-handed squid jigging here, I'll be bound. Hello, what's the row? He's jigging one now, the very first squid on the squid jigging ground. Poor Uncle Billy, his whiskers are spattered with spots of the squid juice that's flying around. One poor little boy got it right in the eye, but they don't give a damn on the squid jigging ground. Holy smokes, what a scuffle, all hands are excited. It's a wonder to me that there's nobody drowned. There's a bustle, confusion, a wonderful hustle. They're all jigging squids on the squid jigging ground. Now the man with the whisker is old Jacob Steele. He is getting well up, but he's still pretty sound. While Uncle Bob Hawkins wears 6 pairs of stockings whenever he's out on the squid jigging ground. Says Bobby, the squids are on top of the water. I just got me jiggers about 1 fathom down. But a squid in the boat squirted right down his throat, and he's swearing like mad on the squid jigging ground. Now if ever you feel inclined to go squidding, leave your white collars behind in the town. And if you feel cranky without your silk hanky, you'd better steer clear of the squid jigging ground. You'd better steer clear of the squid jigging ground.
Not have got all the verses in the right place, but I sang the whole song. You know, it's an awful thing for a Prince Edward Islander to be singing to some Newfies over there, and they know the whole song through and through and through. But anyway, you do your best. That's all you can do. In this old train depot, just 10 minutes ago, I was waiting anxiously for the number 9 whistle blow. The guy walks up and says, "Man, there's a woman on your brain, moving in from Montreal by train." Then I heard the rumble and I watched the engine crawl right on by the station door. I thought he'd never stall. I couldn't wait to throw my arms around my Jolie Jane, moving in from Montreal by train. Crowds began to gather round to welcome kinfolk home, moving in from Montreal by train and all along. Then I heard the people say, "Here comes a Quebec dame, moving in from Montreal by train." Oh, there she stood within the door and the wolves began to howl. I knew I'd have to make it fast to catch my baby doll. I pushed my way right through the crowd to kiss my Jolie Jane, moving in from Montreal by train. Someone whispered they sure grow them fine in Montreal. She talks a little Frenchy and she's curvy, dark and tall. Jolie Jane, I love you so, your trip was not in vain, moving in from Montreal by train. Now we're off to meet the man that makes 2 lovers into one, and number 9 just rolled away with 1 more good turn done. For someone someday there may be another Jolie Jane, moving in from Montreal by train. She'll come moving in from Montreal by train, As you all know, I like lobsters, I like Nova Scotia, and I like the songs of Sharon Lowness.
You tell me about women's liberation, but I can tell you now, you're wasting my time. And I've got clothes on the line. You say we've got to fight for our freedom, but I don't mean to try to tell you you're wrong. But I can't go along. Well, God made me a woman, and I feel that I've been blessed. I love my man, and I'm glad I am a woman. A woman. You say you're tired of hearing it's a man's world, and so we've got to make a place of our own. But my place is home, and it may seem to you that I'm old-fashioned, because I'm so satisfied just being a wife. But that's my whole life. Well, God made me a woman, and I feel that I've been blessed. I love my man, and I'm glad I am a woman. A woman. Yes, I love my man, and I'm glad I am a woman. A woman.
They call me Ben, here in the pen, where you take the guff and you suffer. But I'll be free when I'm 53, and I bet I'll be a whole lot tougher. I bet I'll be a whole lot tougher. When I was a lad, I was really bad. It wasn't smart to be good. I beat up my dog, and I choked my frog, and I acted just as mean as I could. I hit all the girls and put gum in their curls, 'cause I like to hear them cry and plead. I'd punch little boys and steal all their toys, 'cause I knew they weren't smarter than me. Yeah, they call me Ben, here in the pen, where you take the guff and you suffer. But I'll be free when I'm 53, and I bet I'll be a whole lot tougher. I bet I'll be a whole lot tougher. When I was 16, I was really mean. I could scrap with the toss of a coin. I was leader of a gang of rough rangy-tangs, and you had to be a good thief to join. Yeah, we had the black jackets and the motorbikes, and we forced all the girls to skip school. And the cops, they'd all try to sympathize when we told them how our parents were so cruel. They call me Ben, here in the pen, where you take the guff and you suffer. But I'll be free when I'm 53, and I bet I'll be a whole lot tougher. I bet I'll be a whole lot tougher. When I turned 21, I had to have a gun, 'cause I planned me a robbery one day. And my girlfriend said she'd rather be dead than hang around with a guy like me. So I granted her wish and dumped her in with the fish. And then I went to meet Frank. Yeah, that's the same day I shot and killed me a cop. He didn't want to let me in the bank. Yeah, they call me Ben, here in the pen, where you take the guff and you suffer. But I'll be free when I'm 53, and I bet I'll be a whole lot tougher. A use. I guess I ain't a very good bluffer. I'll tell you a little story about a fellow that I met in a pub down on Barrington Street in Halifax. I see a Haligonian over there. His name's Haggard. And it wasn't him, no. This here fellow's name was Luke. And this is the sad, sad story about the decision he had to make in his life. I hope you don't ever have to make the same decision.
Twang, twang, another ding twang, another ding twang, another ding twang. I've been married now for a year or more, and my old guitar hangs by the door. That woman of mine says, "Hawk that, Luke, 'cause your mama dear needs a brand new suit." Well, I hocked my watch and I sold my dog, and I pawned the gasoline stove. I hocked my ring and everything just to keep that woman in clothes. I even pawned a cat and I hocked my boots, and I sold a family car. But that woman of mine will be old and blind before I hock my old guitar. Twang, twang-a-dee-doo, dang-a-dee-doo, dang-a-twang-a, twang-a-twang, twang-a-dee-doo, ding, another ding twang, another ding twang, another ding twang. She went out one day last week, I guess, and she won't come back until I say yes. In answer to her, "Hawk that, Luke, my old guitar for a swimming suit." That'll be the day when I pawn my heart like I pawned a gasoline stove. I hocked my ring and everything just to keep that woman in clothes. I even pawned a cat and I hocked my boots, and I sold a family car. But that woman of mine will be old and blind before I hock my old guitar. Twang, twang-a-dee-doo, twang-a-twang-a-twang-a-twang, twang-a-dee-doo, ding, another ding twang, another ding twang, another ding twang. And they talk about women's lip. If she don't come back, I won't be sore, 'cause I don't give a hoot about her no more. A man gets tired of hawk that, Luke, that woman of mine's too bad to shoot. Well, I hocked my watch and I sold my dog, and I pawned the gasoline stove. I hocked my ring and everything just to keep that woman in clothes. I even pawned a cat and I hocked my boots, and I sold a family car. But that woman of mine will be in a box of pine before I hock my old guitar. Twang, twang-a-dee-doo, twang-a-twang-a-twang-a-twang, twang-a-dee-doo, ding, another ding twang, another ding twang, another ding twang. This song ain't over yet. Still another ding twang and another ding twang and another ding twang and another.
There's a little place called Skinner's Pond on Prince Edward Island, where the farmers and the fishermen are subsidized in summertime by the gathering of Irish moss. Here is the song of the Irish moss. Down in old Prince Edward Island, when the winds are on the blow, and the ocean waters rolling through the reefs and rocks below, and the Irish moss comes drifting where the white-cap waters roar. With my scoop and my fork and my wagon and horse, I'll be heading on down the shore. With my scoop and my fork and my wagon and horse, I'll be heading on down the shore. On old Prince Edward Island, where the Irish moss is found, with bags and ropes and baskets, they come from miles around, crashing through the water, being careful not to fall. There's one good dash and a hell of a splash, you could lose your overalls. One good dash and a hell of a splash, you could lose your overalls. There's horses in the water and horses on the road. Here comes old Russell Elward, and he's hauling up another big load. And the party lines are ringing, and the word keeps passing on. You can hear them roar from the Tignish Shorters, Moss and Skinner's Pond. You can hear them roar from the Tignish Shorters, Moss and Skinner's Pond. On old Prince Edward Island, it's one big hullabaloo. The boys and the girls and the old folks, they're gonna make a few bucks too. Get
wet to the neck in the ocean, where the waves all turn and toss. But it's a free for all, and they're having a ball, bringing in the Irish moss. It's a free for all, and they're having a ball, bringing in the Irish moss. Now the moss plant boys are waiting, they pay so much a pound. There goes a guy on horseback, and they both look damn near drowned. But all those smiling faces just mean one thing to me. For every man with a calloused hand, there's a blessing from the sea. For every man with a calloused hand, there's a blessing from the sea. There's an islander somewhere lonesome, 'cause he can't be home today, to get a little sip of the moonshine and haul another load away. In the land of the great potato, where the lobster feeds are wild, we thank the boss for the Irish moss on old Prince Edward Isle. We thank the boss for the Irish moss down on old Prince Edward Isle.
Thank you very, very kindly, ladies and gentlemen. Now it gives me a great pleasure to introduce you to a real good old friend of mine from Peterborough, Ontario, Kent Brockwell.
1, 2, 3.
I yodel my song as I roll along from Australia to the sea. And today I don't have to make a stop, so I'll go rolling through. I'm headed on further down the line, for the lakehead I am bound. And my yodeling song echoes back to me from the rock cut at Parry Sound. Stop on the ride. She'll be coming off her ship when I get there tonight. I'll stop a while just to see her smile and yodel a song or two. Then I'm on my way to Thunder Bay and old Fort William too. That run this route from city far and wide. For the boys that drive the rig, they really are their pride. On the darkest night you'll see our lights, we drive them rain or shine. I yodel my song as I roll along upon that north shore line.
Okay, the next number we're going to do, an awful lot of people have been asking me, "Hey, Stompin Tom, how come you never sing none of them nice Nashville songs?" Well, I only got one answer for them. When them nice Nashville fellas start singing my songs, I'll start singing their songs. They never heard of Stompin Tom from Skinner's Pond. Turn 'em on. I wouldn't laugh and giggle if I was you. There's going to be some tears rolling down the leg before I'm done this one, let me tell you that. The old hometown looks upside down as I lay here on the ground. Where's the old freight train that I just fell off of? Down the road I look, and there goes Bessie, darn good cow.
but she sure looks messy while grazing on a green, green grass of home. The old outhouse is still standing, and all the catalog is used and gone. Where's the old oak seat that I used to sit on? Down the path I'd run and hope to make it, but there were times when I had to fake it. That's why we've got such green, green grass at home.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this next artist that I have coming up here on the stage this evening, he's 13 years old, and he writes his own songs, and I know that you're going to like him. His name is Joey Tardif. We're going to do is going to take us up around the Georgian Bay of Ontario and talk a little bit about a girl that I tried to catch up with and never did. Boom, 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 boom. From Espanola to Manitoulin and across the channel I'm bound. Took the ferry from Tobermory. Okay, we'll start it again. I ain't perfect either, you know. From Espanola to Manitoulin and across the channel I'm bound. From Espanola to Manitoulin and across the channel I'm bound. I heard a story in Tobermory that my baby's in Owen Sound. I was close behind her, but I couldn't find her, so to me, bird, I'm away. Down to Collingwood, that's where I stood, at the bottom of the Georgian Bay. Ferryman, have you seen my Marianne? In my search for her I've been around the bay and back again, around the bay and back again. From Wasaga to Penetanguishene, north to Perry Sound, there's 30,000 of lakes and islands, and where can she be found? From Brit, my baby never hit French River in Sudbury, they say. She took a ferry in Tobermory across the Georgian Bay. Ferryman, have you seen my Marianne? In my search for her I've been around the bay and back again, around the bay and back again. From Espanola to Manitoulin and across the channel I'm bound. Another story in Tobermory said the Triol Hepworth town. I was close behind her, but I couldn't find her, so I guess I'll have to stay without my lovely on Lonely Island in the middle of the Georgian Bay. Ferryman, have you seen my Marianne? In my search for her I've been around the bay and back again, around the bay and back again. Ferryman. I never thought I'd make that one. Got that one, Joe. It's well known by now that a few years back I done an awful lot of hitchhiking across Canada, the highways and the byways. We have a young feller here tonight, and his name is Chris Scott. He writes his own songs, and he's done a lot of hitchhiking himself. I'd like you all to put your hands together and welcome Chris Scott to our stage.
Sit down, Mr. Music Man, and tell me where you've been. The song, the singer of your home, and the things you've done and seen. The way you sing, it makes me feel 1,000 miles away. But don't tell lies, it's in your eyes, the price you've had to pay. Waiter, bring another drink and give it to my friend. It won't be long before he's gone and on the road again. Another town, another bar, maybe next time near home. Once more to make the promise that he never more will roam. I'll tell you, Mr. Stranger, though you needn't buy a drink, life's not easy on the road, it's not just what they think. For 3 years I've been traveling round, the good times and the bad. But the thing I miss, my baby's kiss and the son to call me dad. Another week and I'll be gone, meet my promise once again. But long before the seasons change, I'm heading for the train. So many times I've neared the top, fate got in the way. Behind these eyes you realize the price I've had to pay. Another week and I'll be gone, meet my promise once again. But long before the seasons change, I'm heading for the train. So many times I've neared the top, fate got in the way. Behind these eyes you realize the price I've had to pay. Sit down, Mr. Music Man, and tell me where you've been. The song, the singer of your home, and the things you've done and seen. The way you sing, it makes me feel 1,000 miles away. But don't tell lies, it's in your eyes, the price you've had to pay. Saxton, you rather brush your hand at me.
Tom, you were in when you were 40 months in Timmins, and you were there during the Great Fire. Was this when you wrote the song "Fire in the Mind"?
Well, I wrote it verse by verse. As each day went on and something new came out about it in the news and that. This was it was a crucial time in Timmins because the people, they didn't know what to do. And everybody was on the verge of leaving. A lot of them had already left, and some of them were leaving. And some of them said the fire will go on and on. There was grief among the people of that northern Timmins town when someone hollered, "Fire, the mine is burning down." Then rushing to the surface came those McIntyre men to make ready and prepare to let the firefighters in. There's a fire way down in the mine. It was February 2nd in the year of 65. A miner's life was taken in the carbon monoxide. The gas had been created way down a mile or so in the McIntyre Hellfire 6,000 feet below. There's a fire way down in the mine. The call went through the Northland for men to fight the flame. From Sudbury to Noranda and from everywhere they came. With oxygen and gas masks they worked for a month of days. In 150 degrees of heat they fought that gassy blaze. There's a fire way down in the mine. The deadly gas kept rising in the McIntyre High till it seeped through the walls and fire doors to the Hollinger mine nearby. For nearly 1,000 miners now, there was no work below. The word came from the office boys, "We have to let you go." There's a fire way down in the mine. With their smiles of hope now faded, many faces wore a frown. Must we see our children hungry? Must we have to leave the town? Will they have to close the mines up, bringing trouble, strife, and woe? Or will they beat that gassy hellfire 6,000 feet below? There's a fire way down in the mine. Then at last it was all over. They had sealed the fire in. As it died, they called the miners slowly back to work again. Some may say that it was nothing, and the world may pass it by, but the people up in Timmins will always hear that awful cry. There's a fire way down in the mine. There's a fire way down in the mine. There's a fire way down in the mine. I got a serious one up here for one more number because we have a fellow here in the house. His name's Matt, and he's from Saskatchewan, and he said if I didn't sing this song, he was going to give it to me. Anyhow, this here song is called Roll On Saskatchewan. I'm going to do it for you, Matt. Let my heart sing an old river song as we journey back where I belong, where the wind comes to say to the river each day, roll on, Saskatchewan, roll on, Saskatchewan, from the wheat fields of my heart. Go find your way to the cool Hudson Bay, roll on, This next scene takes place out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean on one of them there, wash tubs that the American Marines aircraft carrier that the Marines there down in the United States have going out there. See, the president was out there with all kinds of big smiles and everything on his face because this was a top secret mission that they were on out there in the middle of the Pacific, and even the old crow was flying. The eagle was flying around, you know, doing his job. Well, anyhow, it just so happened that on this particular day, through the white clouds came streaking this blue flame, and it dropped right alongside of the aircraft carrier, and it looked like one of them sardine cans with a door in it. And these two fellas jumped out all dressed up looking funny, you know. And they got aboard this aircraft carrier, and the president, and all big smiles, he said, now, boys, he said, look into the cameras and tell the world what the greatest news is from the moon. From the moon, yeah. And the first fellow that they called Astor, I think his last name was Knott, and the first thing he said, do I have to tell Mr. Nixon what the latest news is from the moon? He said, certainly. He said, okay. He said, you asked for it, sir. You might think it's goofy, but the man in the moon is a Newfie. He's sailing on to glory, away in the golden dory. Codfish Dan from Newfoundland, he dreamt that he had 3 wishes, and he took Mars and all the stars, and he turned them into big fishes. He said the sky was much too dry, and he made a wavy motion, and the moon like a boat began to float upon the starry ocean. You might think it's goofy, but the man in the moon is a Newfie. He's sailing on to glory, away in the golden dory. Sailing on to glory, away in the golden dory. One night he strayed to the Milky Way to cast his nets upon it. When he spied the tail of a great big whale, he harpooned Halley's Comet. He never had a pot for the fish that he caught, so he had to use the Big Dipper. And the sun, by Jove, was a very good stove for cooking up smelts and kippers. You might think it's goofy, but the man in the moon is a Newfie. He's sailing on to glory, away in the golden dory. Sailing on to glory, away in the golden dory. I'd like to let you take a break in this, Bill, but I can't afford the time. I wouldn't want you to hog the show, being as how you're a Cape Britainer. The northern lights that seem so bright, like nothing could be grander. Well, they're just waves of the moonboat made by the Newfoundland commander. And don't you sigh and say, oh my, what gross exaggerations. He'll tell you the dream was true and Codfish Dan awakens. You might think it's goofy, but the man in the moon is a Newfie. He's sailing on to glory, away in the golden dory. You might think it's goofy, but the man in the moon is a Newfie. He's sailing on to glory, away in the golden dory. Sailing on to glory, away in the golden dory. TTC skedaddler, got a socket to my big red rattler, got a socket to my big red rattler. I've been a streetcar driver now about 11 years, and I know the old Toronto city well. There's a whole lot of people who wait along the track for the signal from my clanging trolley bell. I'm a TTC skedaddler, got a socket to my big red rattler, got a socket to my big red rattler. Put the pole up on the wire now and open up the switch. It's time to get old Rattler sparking through. She is red around the bottom and she's yellow on the top, and I drive her like a driver ought to do. I'm
a TTC skedaddler. Got a socket from a big red rattler. I got a socket from a big red rattler. I love my little wife at home, I love my couple kids. They often take the trolley to the park. They know their daddy's driving the people here and there, but I'll be back again to take them home at dark. I'm a TTC skedaddler. Got a socket from a big red rattler. Got a socket from a big red rattler. Don't forget your ticket when I open up the door. Kindly make your way along the aisle. I'll drive you down to work and I'll safely bring you back, and I'll try to render service with a smile. I'm a TTC skedaddler. Got a socket from a big red rattler. Got a socket from a big red rattler. I've been a streetcar driver now about 11 years, and I know the old Toronto city well. There's a whole lot of people who wait along the track for the signal from my clanging trolley bell. I'm a TTC skedaddler. Got a socket from a big red rattler. Got a socket from a big red rattler. Got a socket from a big red rattler. When the big moon shines in the Maritimes on the old Atlantic shore, I'll be glad to be back to old Halifax and the girl that I adore. When the big sky is blue, I'll be coming to you with a love forevermore. Where the high tides roll on the rocky shoals of the old Atlantic shore. Where the fishing nets hang and the buoy bells twang, you marvel at the stevedores' might. And the big empty ships from the docks they slip away in the silence of night. How I reminisce your goodbye kiss, standing in the shanty door. I'm coming back home, never more to roam from the old Atlantic shore. When the big moon shines in the Maritimes on the old Atlantic shore, I'll be glad to be back to old Halifax and the girl that I adore. When the big sky's blue, I'll be coming to you with a love forevermore. Where the high tides roll on the rocky shoals of the old Atlantic shore. It's a long ways down to Halifax town, where the great white seagull flies. But the big blue sea, it's a calling to me, come back to your big blue eyes. I can feel sea breezes coming through the trees, I can hear the oceans roar. I'll be home tonight, dear, to hold you tight on the old Atlantic shore. When the big moon shines in the Maritimes on the old Atlantic shore, I'll be glad to be back to old Halifax and the girl that I adore. When the big sky's blue, I'll be coming to you with a love forevermore. Where the high tides roll on the rocky shoals of the old Atlantic shore. Where the high tides roll on the rocky shoals of the old Atlantic shore. 'Twas July 32nd on Piggyback Day, and the crowds were all standing in each other's way. They came there to watch him, that awful disgrace, the annual champ of the piggyback race. The cabbage roll kid, just an overgrown uke, he was last year's champ, 'cause he won by a fluke. For old grip-tight Glenny was too thin to be seen, and he lost his first prize to that cabbage machine. A leprechaun Johnny would not have entered this deal, but he had no way of knowing all the pigs would be real. And the Skinner's Pond hippie had a laugh on his face to see leprechaun Johnny in a piggyback race, singing chuckle-dee, chuckle-dee-dee, dee-dee, singing chuckle-dee, chuckle-dee-dee. Now the crowd started looking at a sight that was weird. Just an old pair of boots with a nose and a beard. And it said, I can win any prize in this show. And he signed himself in Pinocchio Joe. Now all the contestants, there must have been 10, were all ready to jump on their pigs in the pen. But the whistle got stuck, and so did the gun. And there wasn't a soul there that could count higher than one. At last they were off, each man to a hog, for the 100-yard dash through that dirty old bog, where the leprechaun vanished and left not a trace, no more to return to the piggyback race, singing chuckle-dee, chuckle-dee-dee, dee-dee, singing chuckle-dee, chuckle-dee-dee. Now the man with the nose, he was making good time. He arrived with his hog at the finishing line. They were covered with mud and their nose was so big, there was no one could tell which one was the pig. Now old Grip-Tight Glenny was no fool or no kook. He slipped off his pig but came in on the uke. And if you see a pig with a cowboy hat on, it belongs to that hippie from old Skinner's Pond. Now Pinocchio Joe, he could never play chess, but at piggyback riding, we know he's the best. So we gave him first prize, a pie in his face, and we found our new champ for the piggyback race, singing chuckle-dee, chuckle-dee-dee, dee-dee, singing chuckle-dee, chuckle-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee.
Before you stop clapping, I gotta tell you about this last love I ever had. When I told her I loved her, she told me, goodbye, rubberhead, so long, boob. Go and blow your inner tube. I got a brand new sugar cube. So goodbye, rubberhead, so long, boob. I told my baby nice, please don't flirt around. And don't give eyes to other guys, it makes my poor heart pound. And as I told her nice, please don't make me dread, she winked her eye at another guy, and when they left, here's what she said. Goodbye, rubberhead, so long, boob. Go and blow your inner tube. I got a brand new sugar cube. So goodbye, rubberhead, so long, boob. I phoned my baby twice to say she hurt me bad, and asked her when she's free again to make my poor heart glad. Oh yes, I phoned her twice, and as with her I pled, she left me alone on the buzzing phone with the memory of what she said. Goodbye, rubberhead, so long, boob. Go and blow your inner tube. I got a brand new sugar cube. So goodbye, rubberhead, so long, boob. Well, I was feeling pretty sore around that time, and I took some good advice, and I met me another girl, and just to walk with her one block, it sets my heart to whirl. And when we met my ex, well, did her face get red? She must have burned at the way I turned my nose up in the air and said, goodbye, rubberhead, so long, boob. Go and blow your inner tube. I got a brand new sugar cube. So goodbye, rubberhead, so long, boob. Goodbye, rubberhead, so long, boob. So long, boob. So long, boob. Boo, 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 boo. Gary asked me the other day, he said, hey, Stompin Tom, he says, how come is it, he said, that all them there hockey players and everything, he says, are 95% Canadian, and he says, not only that, he says, hockey is Canada's favorite and original sport. He said, how come is it that we ain't got a hockey song? Well, I only had one answer for him. Hello out there, we're on the air. It's hockey night tonight.
Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Second period, where players dash with skates aflash, the home team trails behind, but they grab the puck and go bursting up and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees, they travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside, it's a 1-1 hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name, and the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Take me where hockey players face off down the rink, and the Stanley Cup is all filled up for the champs who win the drink. Now the final flick of the hockey stick and the one gigantic scream. The puck is in, the Canadians win the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name, and the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name, and the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name, and the best game you can name is the good old hockey game.
For any folks in the house this evening that live anywhere's handy, say within a 50-mile radius, I got my nose fixed now, my mouth don't work. 50-mile radius of the city of Ottawa. Here's a story that takes us back to about 120 years ago, when a French Canadian lived up that way. He made himself a legend in his own time. He got buried under a tombstone for a while until a fellow named Stompin Tom went up that way and heard a few of the tall, tall tales and wrote a song about Big Joe Mufferaw. Heave hi, ho, the best man in Ottawa was Mufferaw Joe, Mufferaw Joe. Big Joe Mufferaw paddling the Mattawa all the way from Ottawa, and just one day, hey, hey, on the river Ottawa, the best man we ever saw was Big Joe Mufferaw, the old folks say. Come and listen and I'll tell you what the old folks say. They say Big Joe had an old pet frog, bigger than a horse, and he barked like a dog. And the only thing quicker than a train upon a track was Big Joe riding on the bullfrog's back. Heave hi, ho, the best man in Ottawa was Mufferaw Joe, Mufferaw Joe. They say Big Joe used to get real wet from cutting down timber and working up a sweat. And everyone will tell you around Carlton Place, the Mississippi dripped off of Big Joe's face. Heave hi, ho, the best man in Ottawa was Mufferaw Joe, Mufferaw Joe. Joe had the portage from the Gatineau down to see a little girl he had in Kempville down. He was back and forth so many times to see that gal, the path he wore became the Rideau Canal. Heave hi, ho, the best man in Ottawa was Mufferaw Joe, Mufferaw Joe. Big Joe Mufferaw paddled in the Mattawa all the way from Ottawa, and just one day, hey, hey, on the river Ottawa, the best man we ever saw was Big Joe Mufferaw, the old folks say. Come and listen and I'll tell you what the old folks say. They say Big Joe put out a forest fire halfway between Renfrew and Old Ironbriar. He was 50 miles away down around Smith Falls, but he drowned out the fire with 5 spitballs. Heave hi, ho, the best man in Ottawa was Mufferaw Joe, Mufferaw Joe. There's all kinds of tall tales about Big Joe. Get this one. He jumped in the Calabogie Lake real fast. He swam both ways to catch a cross-eyed bass. But he threw it on the ground and said, I can't eat that. So he covered it over with Mount St. Pat. Heave hi,
Hi-ho, the best man in Ottawa was Buffalo Joe. Buffalo Joe. They say Big Joe drank a bucket of gin and then he beat the living tar out of 29 men. And high on the ceiling of a Pembroke pub, there's 29 boot marks and are signed with love. Hi-ho, the best man in Ottawa was Buffalo Joe. Buffalo Joe. Big Joe Buffalo, paddling a Mattawa all the way from Ottawa. And just one day, hey, hey, on the river Ottawa, the best man we ever saw was Big Joe Buffalo, the old folks say. Come and listen and I'll tell you what the old folks say. They say heave, hi, ho, the best man in Ottawa was Buffalo Joe. Buffalo Joe. Big Joe Buffalo, Big Joe Buffalo, Big Joe Buffalo. This is a snowmobile song. It's winter time and the weather's fine. The snow on the woods and field when I reveal my snowmobile. Thrill by gully and hill, baby, it'll make you feel like an outdoor meal on a snowmobile. Listen to the sound of the belts go round when the winter carnival's here. And oh, what fun at the crack of the gun when the whole gang disappears. The race is on from the bush to the pond and back where the judges feel you've won their seal. For the snowmobile, you've won their seal. For the snowmobile. Where skiers ski and skaters be in snowshoes lend a feel like a bogey wheel on a snowmobile. We tip the glass to the northern lass, for she won't let you kneel, she'd rather squeal on a snowmobile. You're off to the town when the word goes round, it's winter carnival time. In goggles, boots and a snowproof suit, your sweetheart's on your mind. You win the race and you see her face and you know that she must feel you've won their seal. For the snowmobile, you've won their seal. For the snowmobile. Down the street you can hear the beat and the clicking of the dancer's heel when the fiddlers peel off a ragtime reel. You dance and tear with an I don't care, and away back home you wheel over hill and fill on a snowmobile. Through a golden glow on powdered snow when the moon comes rolling along. On the homeward trail you can hear the wail of the whole gang singing a song. If tomorrow's clear with fishing gear, we'll head for a lake trout meal with a rod and a reel and a snowmobile. Life can be real on a snowmobile. No, there ain't no deal like a snowmobile. La 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 la. Thank you very, very kindly. Okay, this here next song is a real soft-spoken kind of a thing. A friend of mine joined the mule train in the old days. His name was Ed. And he went away out west to join this here mule train, and he come back and he contracted an awful disease. Good morning, Captain. First time I heard that note, Bill. The last time I want to hear it, too. These Cape Brittoners get away with everything. Good morning to you, sir. Do you need a mule skinner? Down on your new mud run. sick mule skin or all thing like that. I'm an old mule skinner from down old Kentucky. I can make a mule listen. I'll accept your pay. Here's a song that I had a little help with the idea of this song. A fellow Newfoundlander, by the way, a fellow by the name of Roy Payne, gave me the idea to write this here song. And with his idea and with a little bit of my lyrics and a tune, we come up with a number, and it's called My Stompin Grounds. If you'll abide with me on this one, it's true as I feel it. I guess it's in the gear D, boys. I've been all across this country, from the East Coast to the West, and I've been asked about 1,000 times what places I like best. Well, I've had to base my answers on the friendly people I found. And if you're inclined to take the time, this is where you'll find my stomping grounds. Just take a little piece of PEI, old Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, Quebec and Newfoundland, Alberta and Manitoba, Ontario and BC, and you'll have found the stomping grounds of all my friends and me. You'll have found the stomping grounds of all my friends and me. You know, there was a time with a buddy of mine when a freight train was our abode. We found people in this here land that would help a guy along the road. Some of them lived in the country and others lived in town. But these are the people that made me proud to say this is my stomping grounds. Just take a little piece of PEI, old Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, Quebec and Newfoundland, Alberta and Manitoba, Ontario and BC, and you'll have found the stomping grounds of all my friends and me. You'll have found the stomping grounds of all my friends and me. And now you've heard my answer. It's one I hope you'll understand. It's just my way of kind of saying thank you to the people of this land. And it doesn't matter really where you're from, you can spread the word around. Wherever you find a heart that's kind, you're in a part of my stomping grounds. Just take a little piece of PEI, and old Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, Quebec and Newfoundland, Alberta and Manitoba, Ontario and BC, and you'll have found the stomping grounds of all my friends and me. And you'll have found the stomping grounds of all my friends and me.
here's a story that I'd like to tell about a poor country boy that sure done well. Never once did his hat band swell, and that man is Stompin Tom Connors. Well, he left his home at the age of 13, a tall, lanky kid like a long string bean. Holes in his pockets and holes in his socks, took on the job at the waterfront docks. Now, Tom wasn't much to staying around or settling down any one town, 'cause the whole of Canada was his stomping ground. By golly, he wanted to see it. With his buddy Steve Foot and his guitar in hand, he thumbed his way across this land, riding the rails and hitching them trucks, living kind of lean on a lot of good luck. Then one day, back in '64, he got stuck in Timmins with the wolf at his door. Stopped at the Maple Leaf for 3 or 4. Had 35 cents, but needed 5 cents more. Well, the barman looked Tom's guitar, and he could tell by their looks they traveled far. Said with a smile, I set the beer in the bar, "You play me a couple of songs." Well, the boss, he liked what Tom was singing, and the people and money that Tom was bringing. And Tom stayed on and on and on, not bad for a country singer. The stomping board played them all, from the Horseshoe Tavern down to Massey Hall. And he might be coming your way this fall, and I sure hope that you don't miss him. So when you're driving or listening to your radio, you hear songs like Bud the Spud or Mufferaw Joe. The songs about Canada, they're on the go, and they're sung by Stompin Tom Connors. So I wish him well, and I wish him the best, for he's paid his dues more times than the rest. He's a hell of a man, he stood the test. He's my good friend, Stompin Tom Connors. So I wish him well, I wish him the best, for he's paid his dues more times than the rest. He's a hell of a man, he stood the test. He's my good friend, Stompin Tom Connors. Tom Connors, Tom Connors, Tom Connors, Tom Connors.